Mic check, mic check. Morning Masters Podcast, yours main, of course. Look, man, back another episode of Thinking Out Loud. First and foremost, I want to thank all the supporters, listeners, people that support the podcast, share the podcast, whether it be the audio, the visual, whether it be the SoundCloud, the Apple Music, the YouTube, Spotify, wherever I'm on. I don't even know all the platforms I'm on, to be honest with you, but shout out to all y'all that support the podcast. That I think week in, week out, a lot of times when I get the feedback, you never know what kind of day somebody having, or what kind of day you gonna have, or what you going into, or what comment is gonna make you think about something a different way, or change your perspective on things, your point of view on certain things. So it's always dope to get that dope feedback, even if it's not dope, like just any kind of feedback. I'm more than happy to get any feedback, even if I get something that say this is great, or this was nice, or I like this segment. Sometimes that it could be that person. It could just be something the person is saying. It could be the fact that you know those eyes is on you. So like it changes your perspective on what you're doing, how you're doing it, the level what you're gonna do it, and how hard you're gonna go. Sometimes you got that. I got that mindset of I'm gonna just put this out just to put something out. And over the years I've stopped doing that, but I had that mindset sometimes, right? And then every now and then somebody hit me up, or they'll say they know what I do, or they'll bring up the podcast, and then somebody, I'm like, damn, I gotta make sure that the next thing I put out is kind of fire, because I ain't the person watching. And it's wrong to think like that, but that's what's dope about the feedback and getting that kind of perception back for the work you put out, because it allows you to know, like, it allows you to think, like, you can, you never know what you're putting out, man. Like, you could put a dud out and that can stop 5 people from watching, or you can put greatness out and that can have ripple effect, and you can add to your audience 1, 2, 3, 10, 12 people, who knows, So definitely shout out to listeners and the people that whether you put somebody onto my podcast, whether you just watch it and listen to it on your own, whether you get something from it, whether you like it, whether you hate it and you hate me but you just want to watch, whatever, that last one is just a joke. I hope that's not a true thing, but it's what it is. The last episode I did, man, it was on the fly. I had something else planned for Pride Month, but obviously with the passing of my grandmother, a lot of things took backseat to that because I just wasn't there, like to do a lot of stuff. But since I handle business well, I think I can still get that done if needed be, but maybe next year. But if not, it's okay. But I did do a Pride episode, which I am proud of, no pun intended, because I did it with family members. Not only that, it took my mind off what was going on, but I also did it in a different location than normal that I always wanted to do a podcast at, but I didn't know if it was gonna come out looking crisp and clean. But it looked real crisp. I can fix the little things up, but it looked real crisp and clean to where I know I can do something else there. I got a big mindset for things when it comes to podcast. Because of my work, I can't always like do everything I want to do, but I can not about I'll say about 83% of the things I want to do, I get done. So I can't blame work, right? But like I want different segments. I know this is more than masters, this Thinking Out Loud. Then I got more than masters when I do interview style. I want different segments of things with different backgrounds where I know what's what. It just, I don't know why, it's just something that I want. So I'm gonna try to bring that to fruition if I can. It's sort of kind of flat, but I'm gonna drink it anyway. But yeah, man. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to them for giving me a dope episode. It's so funny, like you don't realize how much you learn through people. Like you learn so much about life, about yourself. If you have any kind of self-reflection, you learn so much through people, through their stories, or through a person, whether you're watching or observing, right? And even in the midst of doing that episode, I learned so many more things about my grandmother that I didn't know, and I've known her all my life. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. But also learning things through them, like, we often have this, one thing I took from the episode rather is we had this idea, like we tell people a lot of times, you ain't got to go to Atlanta to do this. You can do it in Augusta. You ain't got to go to California to do this. You can do it in Augusta. But really, you should never keep nobody captive to one particular place, right? So what I got from the episode, I got 2 people that's from pretty big cities. One from New York, one from Wisconsin. Those are in like small cities and all like that, right? And they went to California, and life just happened to change for them for the best. So my mindset on that changed. Not saying I want to go to Atlanta, I want to go here, but it's one of them things where it's like sometimes, the movement of your location. My bad. I had to fix the sound, man. I'm bugging. But sometimes the change in location can help you. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was saying, when you get feedback and when I see the support, like it changes my mindset. Sometimes that helps change your mindset. You changing scenery, you changing locations, you having to do things on your own. You being in a city with more resources. That sometimes that's what it's about. It's not about saying F where you from or just F this because it's a small town or it's this, that, and third. But sometimes for you to get creative, for you to be your best self, for you to get to that next level, there might need to be some change. And I've seen that in my life in general, but I'm not gonna compare my life to somebody else's right now. But definitely, change is inevitable, first of all, but sometimes it's needed to grow. You know, change is needed to grow sometimes, and that's what I got from that episode. You know, sometimes you gotta change your environment to even tell yourself or show yourself that you got that kind of bravery in you. You know, sometimes you're around family, you're around a protected scenery, you're around protection all your life. Like, you know, nothing can happen to you, nothing, you'll get touched. You know, there's no fear. Sometimes you gotta live with fear around you to, you know, see where you can go, see where you can take things. So, shout out to that, man. But you definitely learn through people a lot. And I work in corporate America, right? So a lot of times when I do my think out loud, this is like how I can vent and just get stuff off my chest. But like I work in corporate America, and I didn't have this. What I'm about to say, I didn't have this problem. I could have definitely took a different route, but I know it's a bunch of people who probably have this problem, and I've seen it kind of like secondhand ish, and I think it's weird. Like, you know, in corporate America, like you work and you accrue time and all this other stuff, right? All right, and so let's say somebody like me, right? So my grandmother just passed, and I feel like sometimes corporate America can be so robotic that it's actually like a slap in the face sometimes, right? And what I mean by robotic is sometimes I don't think they thinking in the human form or human sense. I think they're thinking that people are robots and that you can do this and things change. You can press a button and emotions change, your mind change, your work ethic change, you know, anything changes. And that's not how it works when you're human, right? And I say it to say, luckily for me, I didn't have this problem, but I say it to say, you know, my grandmother passing, when somebody in your family passes, like that's close to you and that mean a lot to you, I don't know how every company is, right? But I know a company that I work for, companies that they say are good companies rather, they got this thing called bereavement. So you can take them when somebody passes, right? And I think you get like 3 days. 3 days, right? So 3 days, 24, 48, 72 hours. So like, it's so weird. Like it's like the idea that somebody that raised you or that's close to you that mean the world to you, that's a big chunk of you, who you are, your heart, your mind. Like the idea that someone that close you see every day that raised you, that like you're like this close with, you know what I'm saying? The idea that in 72 hours of their passing, you'll be okay to come back to work. It's wild to me. Like I said, luckily I didn't have that problem, but I'm also I'm a little different in what I do. So didn't have the problem, but still felt like even the time I took wasn't maybe enough, right? But we'll get into that in a second. So I started thinking of all the people who probably don't have the system or the money saved up or the support system to fully heal from a death of a loved one. You know, let's say it's your spouse, your kid, you know what I'm saying? Your sister, your brother, you know, your uncle that raised you, auntie that raised you, like somebody that just meant the world to you. You know, the idea that, you know, hey, look, I'm gonna give you 3 days off, you know what I'm saying? You come back to me, I know what, it's Tuesday, all right, just come back Friday evening. You know, like the idea that I'm gonna be good by Friday is just out of pocket to me. And for me, I didn't have that problem, but I started to think about it when I thought about, damn, was I ready to come back though, you know? And yeah, as a man, I feel like because I just seen a post a little while ago, man. I think I shared it too. I just shared it, matter of fact, and it said, let me read it real quick. What did this post say? It was something about men. I don't know if I actually agree with it, but I want to. It'll make my point right now. Definitely. It says, as a man, your feelings don't matter, so just figure it out. I shared it and said, man up, and I do. I agree. I don't agree with the post, but I agree that we have to man up a lot of times. I think that a lot of times we do hide our emotions and hide how we feel. I know me. I can't speak for all men. I know me definitely. I've been one to hide them or ignore them. I won't say I'm hiding them because sometimes I may not know them feelings are there. I might just be hiding them because I'm so used to being in that man role of like, I'm a man, so I can't do this. I gotta protect this person, so I can't feel this way. I can't be in this slump because I gotta protect these people, or I gotta be strong for this person, so I'm gonna go ahead and toughen up and I'll put it behind me and I'll deal with it when I have to deal with it, and maybe never deal with it, right? That's what I mean when I say like my emotions. Like I'm not hiding them willingly. Like, oh, I feel this way. Let me go throw this. Nah, it's just subconsciously. It's a grown habit. It's a habit. It's something I've grown to do. I'm not here to give a pity story, of course, but like, so I was 7. Most people same my age. 7. I was 7. My pops left, so from that moment, I've always been told, take care of your mom, protect your mom, be strong for your mom. Then, I got a brother and sister, be strong for your brother, be strong for your sister, blah, 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 blah. You get older, you suffer heartbreak, you got to be strong. You got a kid, you got to, responsibilities you got to take care of. You ain't got time to sit back and whine. It's like, it's always something that you got to like that's taking a front seat or that's taking a passenger seat where you can express yourself or you can be vulnerable to show those feelings or just, I don't know, just show them, just let it out. It's always something taking that front seat because for me at least, I always had to be there for somebody, whether it's a sibling, my mom, my kids, or just the fact that, that mindset of nobody cares, you just got to toughen up, or the mindset of I'm a man, so I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to just toughen up, So I said to say, it's been a few times, I'm at work and it's like, I can feel you want to have moments. And I think another thing is this too, when you're dealing with grief a little bit, it's like a lot of times people that maybe didn't see you or you haven't crossed paths, right? So every time you think that you over or not over or something, but you think like, okay, I'm good, like, I'm straight. Here's somebody, yo, I'm sorry, this, da da da. Like, damn, like I know, but I'm trying to get past that. Whereas you don't want to be disrespectful and be like, thank you, da da da. But at the same time, it's like, I wasn't thinking about that today, bro. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And it's like people want to hug you or they want to, are you okay? It's like, it's always, it just keep bringing it back to that feeling. And I'm like, damn, a company really will think that, you're ready to just come back. And I feel like I could have took more time, of course, if I really wanted to. And I think that'd have been A-okay. But that mindset I have of like, I got to make sure I got to take care of, my kids. I got to take care of this. And now it's definitely more riding on you because now I'm taking on more than I was before. So it's definitely one of them things where you sit back and think like, damn, I wonder how people that don't have the system I have deal with this. I wonder how people that don't have this accrued time to take off deal with this. Or I wonder how somebody who just ain't as mentally strong or strong as I might be to put this in the backseat for now, and that they can't do that. So like they not even themselves, they just a wreck and they can't work or they can't provide. Like I start to think about that and saying, damn, like it has to be some other thing got to be put in place for people like that that they deserve it. You feel me? Like they deserve it. So just a thought I had, wasn't nothing that I'm mad about or nothing like that. But as I think and I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, I think a lot of times like, damn, like it's somebody out there that probably like it could be a trickle effect on their life. You know what I'm saying? Like they could lose their job and then they can lose this and then sometimes I often wonder, I'll be like, damn, how somebody get homeless, right? And I know a lot of times we look at homeless and I've heard things like, oh, they made poor decisions. Or they should have known better. Or it's no way they got family. It's no this. And you never know. But I started thinking about some weird stuff, right? My mind started running. And I think like, damn, imagine somebody who like lost someone a big chunk of their life, a big chunk of them lost someone that's never been the same, but also never could cover ground because they never could get back right in time. I can see that being somebody who's homeless as well. Like they just lost everything, and over time you just keep losing. So just something I thought about, but that's just one thing I want to talk about. Another thing I wanted to get with, and it's another thing with corporate America, man, is just, at least this is where this derives from, right? And this is for real right here. Like, I think people got the wrong idea of team, right? And I'm not saying people that I work with, I'm just talking in general in life. A lot of times, let's say we'll use sports. So let's say Golden State, right? Golden State Warriors just won a championship. Okay. Somebody will make you think or have you think that it was because of Steph Curry, or it was just because of Draymond Green, or Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, the key players to the team, right? The average person will have you think that those were the reasons why this team won, right? And I think people forget it's so many players on a team that, and I say players, I'm not talking about that person that get a jersey and that's going to get put in the game. I'm talking about people who are actively on the team, like that organization type of thing. So when you look at the team, you got the players, the 15 roster. Okay, cool. You got the coaches, you got the training staff, you got the coaching staff, you got the people who, the GM, people who cut the checks, people who make the picks, people who clean this. It's like a team consists of so many different roles, and these roles are in place for a reason for that team to operate smoothly, right? And I think sometimes what people don't realize is that there's roles for a reason, and people are putting those roles for a reason. And sometimes people put in the wrong role, and that's fine, right? And you, as a leader, you find the right role for them because it may be a role for them on the team, just maybe not the role they're in. And I think that's when you get those championship organizations, those dynasties, those great teams, because they have people in the correct roles. It's no ego, no pride, no this, no that. It's just correct roles. Like, you don't belong here, you belong here. You don't belong here, you belong here. And when I notice in corporate America is a lot of times that be the reason why people are frustrated, people are upset, and why people have hard times at work, or whether certain stores or jobs don't have, like, you might have the same company, different stores, and you have one store run smoothly, this store run very raggedy, this store run rampant, this store run very smooth. Like, you'll have that because in one store you probably got the right people in the right roles, and in another store you probably got the wrong people in the wrong roles, or people in roles that shouldn't even be in the store, or people in the wrong roles, right? So in my position, at least, like, it's a lot of competition that's had that can't leave that room, right? So that'd be the first trickle effect, okay? Because those conversations end up leaving the room. Okay, so, and when that happens, that means already that you got a person in the wrong role. Because if you can't do something as small as keep in-house things in-house, you really shouldn't be there, right? But let me tell you why it causes a trickle effect, right? Because then what happens is somebody that's outside that room gets a whiff of that information or something that's going on. And it could be a business decision, nothing personal. It could be a business decision that's made. Somebody leaks it. All right, cool. This person knows now. So now that person tells this person, they start creating a cancer around this, that, and third. And then you wonder why when you say good morning to somebody or how you doing somebody, and they give you the cold shoulder, and it's like a trickle effect because one person just couldn't do their fucking job, right? So I think that in order to have a good team, you gotta have people in the right roles and at the right time in the right roles. Whether it's from the leading, whether it's from the bottom. I don't care if it's the person that's sweeping, the loader. I don't care if it's somebody that's pushing buggies. Like, if the person that's pushing buggies can make tough decisions and have these tough and courageous conversations, he probably in the wrong role. He probably need to be a manager. If the person that's managing can't, have these courageous conversations, can't, delegate or this, that, and third, they probably need to push buggies. Like, that's just always been my mindset. I think is people, we make things harder than need to be a lot of times, and it's important to scout and know the talent you have, to know where you got to put somebody at. I never think that somebody shouldn't be in this position. I just probably feel like, damn, you know what? Maybe they need to start at entry level of that position. Maybe not like let them go, but maybe start at entry level. Like maybe you don't jump from a buggy pusher or to an assistant store manager. That's kind of weird. Like it's a lot of many steps in between that you're missing out on. That when you get to that level, that ASM level, you may not be ready for because that's too much at you at one time. But if I let you take steps to get there, by the time you get there, it'll be something you can handle. Like that. Like that's what I think of when I think of a leader putting somebody in a good position, in a good role, setting them up for success. I feel like me jumping you is setting you up for failure from the get-go. And what happened is, and I'm going to just speak on it and I'm going to be done. It's just my thinking aloud. It was a situation where I did feel like I was doing something, I did somebody a favor by, I was going to have them like, yo, you just come down here, you do this. It's still a management or supervision role. It's not the same when you're doing, you do this. And I think that, if you can show that you can, do that successfully, jumping back up and be a problem for you. Because right now I feel like you feel overwhelmed, right? And I feel like it backfired on me a little bit just because something that was said in the room was brought outside the room. It was brought outside of that room, and maybe how it got to the person was the wrong way, which I didn't really care. I didn't say nothing out the way. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But when you think of a team aspect, that's why you have people having hard times either doing their task, doing their job, because then what happens, that creates an environment of okay, now we can't trust each other. So now we can't talk about certain things in certain rooms. So now we have one group, you kind of branching off because now you got another group because these 2 or 3 people don't trust this person. So, and it's not conducive to business. It's not conducive. I'm trying to run a business. We're trying to get right. We're trying to do this, trying to do that. Like we got to make sure that we all on one accord. And if you're not on one accord, then that's splitting it up. Your starting 5 should be your starting 5. It shouldn't be, oh, these 2 are cool, but these 2 not cool. That one is all branched off by itself. Nah, that's not conducive. Not a team. Gotta be a team effort. And we have to make business decisions. If the goal is to run a business. The goal is not to, throw the person under the bus, all the politics that I talk about. It's all of that stuff, and that makes people's job harder. But the thing about it is this, like, it's not gonna make my job harder because I've always been the same person I am, whether I'm in corporate America or outside of corporate America. The only difference is I may not slap somebody inside my job. That's the only difference. I'm not going to choose violence first at work, of course. But outside of that, then I might slap shit out you. But on a side note, I feel like the having people in the right roles is super important, just in life in general. Like that's why certain people can't be parents. Certain people can't parent at a certain age. You're not supposed to be a parent at 14, 15 years old because you don't know enough. You're supposed to, get your schooling, get your education, get financially stable, have your kids. Even me, I had a kid too early. I wasn't financially stable. I should have been financially stable first, then have my kid. And that it's reasons why it's set up to be this way. It's reasons why, that's all, but it's reasons why, you're not supposed to be a parent at a certain age, right? Because you're not ready for that role at that age yet. You're not ready for that responsibility at that age yet. You're not ready for what comes with all that comes with at that age, right? And I think it's the same thing when you think about having a role or being in a certain position. Like, you're not going to put the weakest link as a general. You're not going to put your strongest person as just a guard dog or a bodyguard. You're not gonna do that. Like, it's certain things, there's certain roles and positions that's meant for certain people. And I think that's another thing too. Like, a lot of times people will take a role or apply for a role or get a role that they got no business doing strictly for the money. All right. So because they want something happened today. Because they want the money, they think that, okay, I'm gonna go to a higher role, but you're not ready for that role in that position. And I talk about this all the time with my peers and things of that nature, like how, somebody may be, even outside of corporate America and just in general, anything. Like, you got people who in gangs that shouldn't be in gangs. Like, you're you're not even built like that to be in a gang. Like, you shouldn't be in a gang. That role is not for you. That role is for somebody. It ain't for you though. So it's not even just corporate America. It's just in life in general. When I've seen it, but I'm seeing it more and more on the side that I'm on now. That because I think people want to get to the extra money. They want to earn a certain amount of money per year. So I'm gonna take this role, but they're not ready to take on what all comes with that. That's anything. So I said parenting, that's one. I said, whether you gang bang or whatever, that's another one. Being an artist, you know what I'm saying? Like, people think, oh, I want to rap or I want to sing, but they ain't ready to have 4 or 5 vocal sessions a day, go on tour, do a 60-day tour, do these interviews, getting up early morning for interviews, go and do cardio so that you can sing and dance and without sounding out of breath, and project your voice the right way. And they ain't one day want to go sing and that's it. But like, with great I always keep forgetting the saying, but a lot of responsibility comes with those great job titles and that great pay. And I think a lot of times, especially in corporate America, at least for me, in my experience, what I've seen is that either the people picking are either people are good at fooling and just interviewing well, which is I see that a lot. You know, you can interview well and they seem like a good candidate, but I feel like a lot of people in life right now are in the wrong seats. You know, and that's like I said, I'm not going to only speak on corporate America. I'm going to speak on anything, parenting, anything. Like, it's the reason why, you know, like, even when you have a babysitter, like, you want an authoritative figure in it. You're not going to have somebody babysit your kids who's going to let them run over them, let them do anything they want to do, not tell them right from wrong. That's not the role for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to do it. So in a role where you got to run a business and you have to make business decisions and you got to be fair, you got to be ethical, you got to be mindful of the people that you're dealing with. Like, all that matters. All that matters. And at the same time, you have to be able to multitask, you know, like, that's even a hard thing in where I'm at. So, like, I don't know, like, it's a bunch of things that I'm like, damn, like, how did this person get hired? You ever think, like, how does motherfucker get here? How did you get here? How did you get here? You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You do that, but not that great. How'd you get here? Like, what qualities did you have for somebody to say, you know what? I want to put you in a leading role. Like, I really need to know sometimes, like, what qualities does a person show that makes someone to put them in a leading role, and then when you see them, when you come across them, like, you ask, as a manager, as a person, as whatever, you ask, you are ass, ASS, you're ass. So I don't know. I know a lot of things done changed. COVID changed a lot of things. So maybe they more lenient in what they hire and the pickings is slim. Cause I know that is for regular roles. Regular roles like, I want you to help customers. I want you to sweep. I want you to get buggies. I want you to just ring up. Those are regular, very essential, because all parts of the team is essential. Very essential roles, but regular roles nonetheless. Meaning I can get a person next door to do your job as well. Now, the higher up you get, you have to pick a certain way, because now you got to have certain qualities and show certain skills and certain assets and skills that you do have and you've acquired over the years. You got to show and prove those. And I'll be wondering, okay, well, what the fuck did this person show and prove that made y'all say, you know what, we're gonna put you in this role? Because that, to me, it made me look at the role as like, oh, the role must not mean nothing. Like, I always say that. I joke a lot about the things like this, like saying like, oh, I don't want nothing in common with a cornball. Like, I won't talk to a girl if I feel like a cornball didn't have her. Like, if I know that, I ain't talking to that girl. I don't want nothing in common with somebody. If a cornball done had you, I don't want to have you, because I'm not a cornball, so I don't want to be in that realm, right? And that's how I am. I'm big on that. I'm super serious. Like, if I find out you dealt with a cornball, like, we can be friends, you know. How you doing? Type of deal. That's it. And the reason being, it's the same thing in the position I'm in now. Like, when you doing certain things and you put yourself in a certain position, I want to stand out. I want to be unforgettable. I want to succeed, right? I want to be in those kind of roles. I want to be in that type of position. Outside of work, inside of work, all over. Like, that's always been me. I don't want to be in a position where somebody who's subpar, mad average can be like, oh, we do the same thing. We don't do the same thing. We're not the same. Not the same. I'm not that I'm better than you. We're just not the same. You could be up here, I'm down here. We just not the same, right? And that's how I feel, and I that's how I feel about that role. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I picked the right role because they got a lot of assholes in this role. A lot of people I don't feel like are deserving of this role. Like, I don't know. It's just me. I'm just thinking out loud, man. Just something I was thinking about, man. I don't know. Yeah, man. Another thing out loud, man. I'm sorry. That's about that, man. Try to get just some episodes in, man. I'm trying to get back right. Trying to get on a good page. So we'll see. More Master Podcast be out. Feedback. Share the podcast. I don't know, man. Get in the right role, man.